Selena Gomez, the mental health advocate, the ex of Justin Bieber, the antagonist, the idol of Hailey Baldwin, the queen of strategic vulnerability, the victim, the billionaire. Is Selena Gomez the biggest PR cover-up in pop girl history? How has her team kept her image so squeaky clean despite all of the crumbs that have been dropped over the years? A woman who built her brand on being uniquely beautiful and herself to push high-dollar products to maintain today's standard of beauty. She's known for having an autoimmune disease called lupus, and it's convenient how every flare-up is linked to something that was almost publicly perceived as a scandal. Was her relationship with Justin Bieber about more than just a toxic love? Can you imagine being one of the most successful pop girls while almost falling into the line of work on accident? Can she do all of this while simultaneously hiding an ongoing battle with addiction? Today we are opening up these questions about Selena Gomez. We're discussing ongoing conspiracy theories that fans have speculated for years, but the difference is we have all of the facts in hindsight. We will walk through 3 different timelines of Selena Gomez's life, her career, her health, and her personal relationships. As we walk through these timelines, we're going to notice where things overlap and how the PR team behind Selena Gomez is clearly driving the narrative of how we perceive this pop diva. Something they thought no one would notice because who has the time to lay it all out and draw conclusions? And they were right, until glitter gel pen came into existence.
Everything is not what it seems.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Glitter Gel Pen.
Episode 32. I'm Jill.
And I'm Alyssa. And today is a deep dive of sorts.
Okay. We're kind of, it seems, following off of our last deep dive.
Yeah. If you haven't watched our deep dive on the timeline of Justin Bieber's love life, you can click on the screen now to watch it. There are going to be some things that I reference directly back to that episode. So it is best to watch that one first, but you don't have to watch that video to understand what we're talking about. But if you want more context, that information is there.
Yes. And before we get started, if you want to see Selena Gomez climb into a tub of cheese that Benny Blanco set up for her, click the subscribe button.
We would love that. One of the biggest conspiracy theories around Selena Gomez is that she has hidden a major drug and alcohol abuse issues since her Disney Channel days.
Okay. I didn't know since the Disney days.
If you're in the right Reddit thread, it's gone back that far.
Okay.
There was a blog, it used to be on Tumblr, called Exposing SNG. Mm-hmm. And they now call themselves Scandalous Media. And they do like faceless YouTube videos where they like share information. They now cover like all pop culture, but back in the Tumblr days, they were the source of Selena Gomez news.
Okay.
And a lot of people were like, these people are just crazy fans because they obviously do not like Selena. But not everything, a lot of the theories they had ended up coming true years later.
Okay.
So it's just like an interesting little tidbit. Obviously, she got her start on Disney, and it's never ideal for Disney girls to go bad. And Selena was actually like the good one compared to Miley and Demi.
Yeah, I've always heard, like, I remember back in the day whenever everything was going on with Demi Lovato and like Miley had already had her like moment. Everybody was like, Selena, it's up to you,
mm-hmm.
you know? So,
and she's kind of kept that like good girl image all along. While Miley was on a mission to prove how bad she was, and Demi Lovato had a public ED and was very open about her substance issues, she was the only one who stayed good and in fact was perceived very well publicly. Her entire image became centered around a very, like, every young girl being so uniquely beautiful, and how we should honor how rare we all are. After all, who says you're not perfect?
Yeah. I remember Who Says. And listen, back in this time, okay, I was looking for any reason to not like Selena Gomez. Like, I'm surprised I wasn't in one of the snark Reddits.
Because you were a believer.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, you know, in the last episode, we went over all of his girlfriends, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, like, okay, I talked about how I loved Caitlin Beatles, mm-hmm. loved her, but for some reason, I couldn't get over the fact that he dated Selena Gomez. Like, it made me so mad, and I was just like, no. I think maybe because, like, I knew it was true love, and I was like, no, that's me.
Yeah.
Like, so I hated Who Says. I was like, she thinks she's perfect.
I was like, while I was doing this, I was like going back through some of her music and like listening to the lyrics and stuff. And Who Says still slaps.
Yeah, now I listen to it and I'm like, I was reaching for a reason to hate this.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is, won't you tell me who said that?
Would you tell me who said that?
Yeah.
So
You
funny.
had some vibrato on that.
I've been listening to Who Says the last couple days. It got me like in the mood for it. Selena got her acting start on Barney and Friends from the years 2000 to 2006. And this is where she met and became friends with Demi Lovato.
I'm going to admit something here. And I've never admitted this before.
She's doing it on the pod. Okay.
Back in my MySpace days, I made a fake Demi Lovato account, and I made a fake Selena Gomez account and had them as top friends. And I would like write there about me being like, so glad we met on Barney back in the day.
Like
and,
you would pretend to be them.
Yeah, and I would like message people, and like people would be like, is this really you? And I'd be like, yeah. And like I would trick people and stuff. Like I was a catfish
love that.
of Demi Lovato.
I did something weird like that too. I found this random girl. Her name was Taylor Parks. She was like a Tumblr girl. And but what makes me weird is that I would message you guys from my hometown that were like older than me that I had crushes on. And they would be interested because she was so pretty. And
yeah.
it wasn't her. It was me.
And I would scour the internet for like pictures that weren't super popular, you know, of them two together, and I would like put them on my like profile and
So
whatever.
people would believe it.
Yeah,
That is so good.
I was a catfish before that was even a term. So
She then got a huge role on Wizards of Waverly Place as Alex from 2007 to 2012. Demi and Selena were also posting YouTube videos together in 2008. And we know the war that was Selena and Demi versus Miley and Mandy.
Yes.
And it was internet history.
it is. I love that. Even still to this day,
Yeah.
it kills me. I crack up.
I just want you to think, okay, and as we go into this, you've got to go into this like, this is all for entertainment. I'm a fan of Selena Gomez, and like, going into this, I'm trying to make you believe what I'm this narrative that I'm pushing. Although like it's all speculation, conspiracies. I just want you to keep an open mind.
Okay.
That we're looking for this specific narrative that the PR team is avoiding, okay?
Okay.
It's all in good fun. None of this is true.
It's all alleged.
It's all just fun. So just keep in mind how close Demi and Selena were during these years when, we now know what Demi was going through during this time, right? So Demi Lovato checked herself into a drug rehab facility as early as 2010. She wasn't public with it at this time, but she seemed to have the most issues with cocaine. Cocaine is one of those drugs that, like, you can't just casually be around people doing it and not have a public problem with it or be doing it yourself. Have you ever been around a group of people doing it before?
Yeah, I went to the bathroom one time and they were like, "You want some?" And I was like, "I'm okay."
It's not something that, like, if you don't do, you kind of don't put yourself around it, if that makes sense. Because those people are on a different level.
Like, I probably couldn't party with Charlie XCX. You know what I mean?
Oh, I could not. There's no way.
I couldn't hang. I'm sorry, Charlie.
A lot of fans speculate that Selena dropped Demi when she was struggling with drugs, which would have been in 2010 whenever she was admitted to rehab. And Selena got closer to the number one good girl, Taylor Swift.
Ask Taylor.
Yep, that's how we got our iconic Ask Taylor video. Notably in 2010, and there is speculation that this is where that beef stemmed from because Selena might have removed herself from the scenario.
That's also an iconic piece of history.
It's the best. So Selena and Justin Bieber also started dating in 2010. This is like the first video of Selena discussing Justin publicly.
You know what? He's the cutest, sweetest kid in the face of the planet. I feel like a cougar because I totally have a crush on him.
You're 2 years older, right? Yeah, you're not a cougar yet.
He's cute. He is so cute. He's got swagger.
I saw a video of you getting serenaded by him.
I know.
I'm also very familiar with Kid Craddock in the morning because
I don't even know what that is.
that's the people who were interviewing her
Oh,
or whatever
okay.
in that. And it's because of Justin Bieber and my obsession, because he performed this song that's not even popular, whatever, like acoustically on Kid Craddock in the morning. And I watched that video so much. I haven't seen that video. Her saying he's got swagger.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a cougar.
Our timeline is currently sitting like around the 2012 mark. So Selena hasn't had any public health issues yet, and she's about 2 years into her relationship with Justin Bieber. But as we discussed in our Justin Bieber dating timeline video, Selena and Justin were constantly like off and on throughout the next few years. Fast forwarding to the 2013 Golden Globes. This is the first video evidence that I could find of Selena being intoxicated publicly. She was 21 in these videos, like, and I also need to say, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, one, her being drunk, two, her having a drug issue. It's her life, you know. It's the masquerading of it all that we'll talk about more.
Was she still with Disney at this time? Like, was
Yes.
Wizard still going on, or?
This would have been near the end, but she still had to put out an album with Hollywood Records.
This kind of events, do they bring people together? You think you're going to meet great people and make friends?
I totally have met incredible people tonight, and I came here 2 years ago, and people totally, completely appreciate the art of what tonight is, and the Golden Globes, and people have worked so hard. So that's why I appreciate being here, is seeing all the people and how hard they've worked.
And you look super elegant. What are you wearing?
Italia Versace. So.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Did you choose it yourself, or what
Yeah,
was
I
the process?
did. I mean, it may have been a little too much, but I loved it. It was so sparkly, and I was like, yay!
She's like plastered.
I know.
She,
And y'all, she's at work. She is literally at work, drunk, talking to a camera.
you can see it in the eyes. You can see it, the makeup, you know, when you get flushed.
Yeah.
This is what I look like in every bathroom when I've had too much in the bar.
Yeah.
Like,
I really regret not putting the Teen Vogue party video clip in here.
Going on.
Where's that inspiration coming from?
I don't know. I like a little edge and a little pop in my hair, so I wanted to add something different, especially for the Teen Vogue party.
that's wild. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, no one has.
It's like, it's so obvious.
This video is out there. It's not easy to find. You have to really, really dig for it. And like, there are no headlines about this scenario. She was 21. There was nothing illegal happening, but her image is remaining clean. She was doing the same thing. Miley and, I mean, Demi was doing other things, but like doing the same things as Miley and Demi, but
Miley at this time, I don't even think was like publicly like drunk, like out doing whatever.
No,
she was just like being
she
like,
would have
woo,
been
woo.
like preparing to do her We Can't Stop. This was the era of Miley with the little bun on top of her head. They were starting to get negative images, and for whatever reason, Selena's was staying clean, even though she was publicly very drunk. This is an example of the narrative that what are they called? The Selenators?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an example of the way that they allegedly feel about, like, these actions. This caption shared that video, and it said, "Remember when everyone thought that Selena was drunk at the Golden Globes while she was just happy and excited?"
Okay.
Let's be real.
Let's not live in Delulu land.
Yes.
They were probably like 15 and never had a sip of alcohol in their life as well.
Or the PR team is planting things like this from burner accounts in the fandom to get more people being like, yeah, go Selena. That's my theory.
Yeah.
So speaking of the PR team having a handle on the way things are being perceived with Selena, in 2014, Selena enters her first rehab stay. So in January of 2014, she secretly stayed in a rehab facility in Arizona for 2 weeks. No one knew what the cause of her stay was, and there may have been speculation, but there was a statement from her team that said Selena voluntarily spent time at Meadows, which was the name of the facility, but not for substance abuse.
I remember this. It was like they were very heavy on the not substance abuse. It's because of mental health.
It's the having to state that it's not for substance abuse that makes me think about substance abuse.
Yeah. And like if they would have just not said like not for substance abuse, if they would have just said, yeah, she's like in rehab for her mental health, like it wouldn't have even seemed as suspicious as not for substance abuse.
Yeah, it's the not for substance abuse, and this was the only statement that they put out. They're saying a lot by what they're saying that she's not doing.
Mm-hmm. I remember too. There's like a video of Justin Bieber during this time whenever they announced that she's like going to rehab, and he's like on some sidewalk, like sitting on something, and he's like got his head in his hands and looks like distraught, and everybody always is like that was the day that she like that it came out that she was in like rehab and stuff. Yeah, that's speculation as well. But yeah, like, and he probably knew, you know, like he probably knew why she was in there, and that's, he was so upset, you know.
She later revealed that this stay in rehab was after being diagnosed with lupus, and she didn't reveal this to us until October of 2015 in a Billboard interview, and this is the exact statement that Selena put out. I was diagnosed with autoimmune disease lupus, and I've been through chemotherapy. That's what my break was really about. I could have had a stroke. I wanted to so badly say, you guys have no idea, I'm in chemotherapy, you're assholes, but I was angry, and I even felt the need to say that. It's awful walking into a restaurant and having the whole room look at you. Knowing what they're saying, I locked myself away until I was confident and comfortable again. This is the first time she's publicly spoken about lupus and having that disease.
And they're going to keep bringing it up, honey, because everything from here on out for her is because of her lupus.
Yes.
Even still today, everything.
And it's interesting that she was interviewing with Billboard whenever she made this statement to promote her new album, Revival. So her first release with Interscope Records outside of Hollywood Records, so she's completely free from Disney. And it's ironically convenient that she lived with this disease diagnosis for however long before coming forward, and she didn't mention having lupus or what she was going through until there was a project to push. Mm-hmm. So she was in chemotherapy allegedly in January of 2014, but they came out that she went to rehab for mental health. It wasn't for substance abuse. So at what point did she go to, okay, so my questions are, did she go to rehab for mental health to accept the fact that she had lupus? Did she go to rehab for chemotherapy? Because that center, Meadows in Arizona, doesn't offer chemotherapy. Oh. So there's some holes in the story here.
Everything is not what it seems.
But this is one example of strategic vulnerability with her saying, oh, I have lupus, while rebranding herself outside of Disney, being a woman, having her Revival, if you will. So Revival is out and kind of killing it. This is my favorite album of hers.
Yeah.
Her tour kicked off in May of 2016 in Vegas.
No, I didn't. I didn't see Revival. I saw the prior album.
Stars Dance or Beyond the Night or something.
Stars Dance. It was Stars Dance. Yeah.
Okay. You can also note that the filming for the documentary My Mind and Me begins filming during this album and touring cycle.
Which I thought was so crazy that it was so long from the start of it to when it actually came out.
Yeah.
You know? Like when it came out, wasn't it like 2021 or
2022 even, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So like years is crazy.
Throughout the documentary, you can see how much Selena like kind of hates being a pop star. And it's important to remember that as we keep going. So
You missed this. That sucked. That sucked. Oh, you get a glimpse of yourself on the screen. Wow, that looks pretty fucking shitty. And then I'm sitting there and like trip over the clothes, and this is just like it sucks the life out of me, and I don't want it for it.
if you haven't watched My Mind and Me, there's a lot of clips that like come across as like Selena being authentic and like not hiding the days that she's not in a good mood and she's not the nicest person. In a lot of ways, you can perceive it as someone who's a little bit ungrateful for the situation that she's in.
And I remember a lot of people did perceive it that way because there was a lot of talk about her when this documentary came out. And everybody was like, I don't think that it's doing what they thought it was going to do.
No,
you know?
and she spoke a lot about how acting was always her first thing and her music just happened to perform well and people really liked it. But like at her core, she's always been an actress. That's always what she's cared about.
Mm-hmm.
My Mind and Me has a lot to dive into. It was marketed as this raw and open look into the life of Selena Gomez, and in some ways it was, but where it lacked were the years of 2016 to 2019. They basically, at the end of 2016, they put text on the screen, and the next clips jumped to 2019. And a lot of things happened between those years, so like, I think they used the 2016 footage as a marketing tool to be like, it goes all the way back to 2016. But in reality, they didn't show anything until 2019 other than those tour clips. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that My Mind and Me didn't mention, Selena cancels a majority of the Revival tour in August of 2016. With this being a mental health forward documentary, you would think
they would show the mental health that caused you to cancel your tour.
Exactly.
You know?
And they make you think that they did, but I have a theory on why this was a completely false narrative that I have honestly never heard anybody else speak about Selena Gomez. So I'm going to read the statement that Selena put out. As many of you know, around a year ago, I revealed that I have lupus, an illness that can affect people in different ways. I've discovered that anxiety, panic attacks, and depression can be side effects of lupus, which present their own challenges. I want to be proactive and focus on maintaining my health and happiness, and have decided the best way forward is to take some time off. Thank you to all my fans for your support. You know how special you are to me, but I need to face this head on to ensure I am doing everything possible to be my best. Something that I have always thought about her canceling her tour and when all this happened, before the My Mind and Me documentary ever came out, is something really important in June of 2016 happened that I've never seen anybody discussing whenever it comes to Selena. Christina Grimmie was murdered by like a psycho fan on June 10th of 2016. And I was a Christina fan.
Me too. This was the first, like, I was really upset, and like I cried, and I was upset about something else too at this time. It just happened to be like literally the same couple days, but because of the other thing and Christina Grimmie, I literally didn't go to work for like 2 days. Like, yeah. I mean, I had a parasocial relationship with her. I watched her on YouTube as a little, 12-year-old, whatever, and I was actually so heartbroken when this happened to her.
It was so sad, and the day after she was killed was the night of the Orlando gay club shooting. I forget, the Pulse was the name of it.
Yeah.
It happened the same weekend, both in Orlando, Florida. Like, her story was news, but not news because so many people died at that club that night. And not that, to take anything away from that or anything like that, but Christina was, if you don't remember her, she was a YouTuber first. She would do like really, really good covers, but she was like a nerdy, like scene girl that, she was just so cool. And like Selena brought her on the Stars Dance tour and We Own the Night. She was on tour with both, and she did backup vocals on one of those tours for her. So Christina had went on 2 tours with Selena, and Selena and her parents signed Christina Grimmie to their label. And Selena Gomez's stepdad was Christina Grimmie's manager until the time that she died.
Yeah, so they were really close.
Yeah, there are videos like of them together on tour. They were really good friends. My thought with this is I would think that her people would have chosen to not shine a lot of light on this scenario, maybe for the fear of like promoting it happening to someone else.
Or just they didn't want to be exploitative when, so I can understand that.
Yeah. But you know how like they say like don't reveal the shooter's name like in the school shootings or whatever, because it's, you don't want them to get like fame or notoriety for like doing something so horrific. I assume that might have been a part of the reason they didn't talk about it much. The only thing that Selena really said publicly about it was she did dedicate a song to Christina on her tour.
About Christina and her family is that she holds her faith so closely to her, and I think it's not about a religion, and it's not about anything or good deeds, it's just that she had faith, and I don't really understand how this really happened.
but I would like to dedicate this next song to her.
I know. I watched that, and it's so sad.
Justin Bieber did one too because he also knew her. But other than that one performance, there really hasn't been like much mention of any of that at all. And I don't think that it's, untrue that Selena needed a mental health break from her tour. But the thing that weirded me out about the statement, like in hindsight even, was like, why can't you just say like your friend, like something tragic happened?
Like everybody knows, and you also dedicated a song like to her. Everybody knows that and would understand that you're upset about it.
Yeah, and probably not wanting to go be super public and like meet a bunch of fans and like put yourself in a vulnerable position like at all.
Like I feel like that would, like being honest and having that be the reason would have been, everybody would have really understood that.
Yeah, and this was an example of lupus being the reason for her needing a mental health break when in reality her really close friend just died. In a very crazy way. And it's not
she was murdered.
It was just such like a big event. Nothing like that had ever happened, especially to a YouTuber. Like it was just like, it was the craziest moment
like
in time.
You weren't expecting that at all.
But what weirded me out is from this scenario specifically, it's a really good example of them bringing up lupus in a scenario where like it did not need to be mentioned. No one would judge you for needing to take a break from anything. You did come out a couple of months ago or like less than a year ago and like admit to having this autoimmune disease, but you were also promoting your album at the same time. So I don't know if they were just trying not to like dogpile on the reasonings for needing a break or whatever, and they just wanted to stick to this one narrative. That would be my thought, but it came off as like disingenuous, like looking back on it. So in 2016, after she put her tour on pause, Selena went to rehab for anxiety and depression. I understand that lupus has those side effects, but if you look at the side effects of lupus, it's anything. And I'm not saying she doesn't have lupus. I believe that she does. But like, it's the perfect scapegoat for any excuse because you've got the medication side effects, you've got the side effects of the disease. It's just like the perfect way for someone to not take accountability for their actions publicly ever. So she had a 90-day stay in a rehab in Tennessee. But right before she went to this rehab, this is a video of her getting out of a car in August of 2016.
Selena here. Happy birthday. Selena here.
That's
not anxiety and depression.
No, that's kind of eerie. Because like it was giving like Amy Winehouse or something.
Yeah.
And that, I know that the Selena defenders will come and say, lupus makes you really weak and really tired and really this and that. And like, that's why they were having to help her, And it's just like, at some point, we just have to like open our eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's also, this is the number one giveaway to me that this is not what they're saying it is. These videos are so hard to find on the internet. You have to like go deep into Reddit threads to find these YouTube links. Like, I don't know if they're unlisted so they don't get removed or what, but it's the fact that the videos are out there and they're so hard to find that it looks like someone is scrubbing them. It's like if they were just out there and everywhere, you could just watch something and speculate on it and whatever. But it's the fact that like there's obviously someone working to hide this. And if she's struggling from lupus and she's trying to bring awareness to lupus, what are you hiding?
Yeah. And also like I know I've known like a few people in life with lupus, and while it does make them exhausted and tired, and like some people can't even, hold a job because of it. If you're tired and exhausted like that, you're not going out to a party, or like wherever she was going right there, you would have canceled your plans.
Yeah.
Like that, you wouldn't be forcing yourself to go get all dolled up and go out. Like, you just wouldn't have, to the point where you're stumbling out of the limo to even go inside.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have went
right
if that was the reason.
Right. And I also have like people in my life that are close to me that have lupus, and it does like affect their life in a lot of ways, but they work. Okay, Selena Gomez is a pop star, and people I know that have lupus don't have the kind of money that you make from being a pop star, and they push through and go to work every day and use their hands, and joints are a big issue. Like, you have a lot of but the biggest thing with it is like pain in your joints and everything, and I understand that, but like, it doesn't make you appear drunk and on drugs in public.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
And I guess in some scenarios it could. It affects everybody differently. But isn't that just the perfect scapegoat to defend her being drunk carried out of a party?
Yeah, it's the perfect umbrella because, like you said, it covers literally everything. So
Yeah.
it's like it blocks her from anything. Like, even today, I mean, I'm sure we'll get there and stuff, but I'm always just like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah.
With like, it's always lupus, you know?
Mm-hmm. This 2016 rehab stay is also where things get a little bit interesting, because 90 days in a rehab stay for anxiety and depression is a little, I don't want to use the word dramatic, but you're a millionaire that lives in LA in a big mansion that could hire anyone to do anything for you. 90 days in a rehab stay is, in my opinion, a little bit of a lot.
It's a little excessive to where I don't think that it would be that realistic if the reasoning was depression, most likely.
Yes. So Selena has opened up a little bit about her experience with this rehab stay. She said that she took part in individual therapy, group therapy, and equine therapy, which uses horses to help treat mental health conditions. I mention this because you have to imagine Selena Gomez sitting in a group therapy session discussing depression or drug use, whatever it is. It's really none of our business. But if you look at the project she released in March of 2017, it leaves some speculation and some fan theories that she went to rehab as a part of mental health research to help with the production of her project called 13 Reasons Why.
Okay. I've never thought of that. I don't know. I think this part may be a reach.
It might be a reach. I don't know if I believe that she would go stay in a rehab for 90 days.
Because, like, that's like taking method acting to a whole new level.
Yeah.
You know, subjecting yourself to 90 days like without your phone, like in this place when you're a celebrity with like these like peasants, you know, like who are probably going to be like gawking at you the whole time and stuff. I don't know.
My theory about this rehab stay specifically will kind of like circle back around towards the end. I could also see like Selena had so much to do with that, with the production of 13 Reasons Why, a show that scarred me. Like, I know that sounds dramatic, but like they got a lot of flack for not putting enough like trigger warnings and things into that show. And like, I knew what it was about. Like, I knew it was about mental health, suicide, and things like that. What I wasn't prepared for
was the graphic scene.
Oh my God. Are you thinking about the boy in the bathroom?
Oh, well, that was season 2. But season 1, Hannah.
Okay.
Well, it was graphic.
Not even just that. To me, the scene that got me that it haunts me because I can't like unsee it. There was a scene of boys like R-wording the Tyler guy in the bathroom with a broomstick. And like, if I could remove something from my brain, it was that scene. Because like, it's so freaking sad. I quit watching the show after that. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Did you watch, and it was always interesting to me though that, like, did you watch from the first season, like, as it came out, like when it first dropped? Did you watch it?
I don't remember the timing of when I watched
because if it had been a certain period of time, you might not have seen the graphicness of Hannah because it also had to be like fixed.
I remember a really graphic scene of her in the bathtub.
Okay. Because when it first came out, it was like graphic, and then they got a lot of backlash about that, like that they shouldn't show it that graphically, and so then they did have to change it. So if you go and watch it now, it's not the same as it used to be.
Her mom was doing an interview about the show because her mom worked on it with her. Her mom made some weird statement about how like they were thinking about having Hannah like commit suicide with like pills, but they're like, that's the easy way out. Like, we want to show like the hard truths of people finding people, and it's like, y'all didn't have to do that to get these points across.
Yeah.
Like, that show was so intense. All that to say, like, that could be some reasoning as to, like, acting is one of her passions. Like, maybe she did really dive into this, like, you know, method acting thought. It's just a theory.
Did you know? Because I was really invested back in the day in 13 Reasons Why, because I read the book when I was still in middle school. And then I did acting and stuff. And, you know, a lot of the time you would take, when you had to do a monologue for, like, auditions and stuff, you would get your monologue maybe from, like, a book or something instead of, like, a script, you know, they would say, so that you weren't compared to the actor who actually did this thing, you know. So I took Hannah Baker's tapes, like her tape monologue, and used it doing all that. I was on the internet for things about 13 Reasons Why, and at the time it was like 2012 or 2013, and Selena Gomez was originally, because they started working on this way earlier than when it came out, and she was originally cast as Hannah Baker. But then I think that it was like taking production so long, she kind of aged out of being able to be her, and so then she ended up being like producer or whatever she ended up doing.
I remember I watched an interview where they were kind of talking about her and Selena said that she like chose to not do it, but that makes more sense that because she said they had been sitting on the project for like 7 years before it came out. Selena went into rehab at the end of 2016. 13 Reasons Why comes out in March of 2017. In January 2017, an article revealed that Selena Gomez's mother had a message for Justin Bieber after she left rehab late in 2016. The message was, "Leave her alone."
Wow.
That's
to the point.
It's something to think about, right? So, do you think this seems like normal behavior for a toxic ex, or is it normal behavior for a toxic ex that comes with bad habits after your daughter just got out of rehab for cleansing those potential habits?
I think it could be either, because, you know, if she did go, in fact, for mental health, and I'm sure he could have, if he was a toxic ex, could have been a big reason for the mental health not being right. If, like, he might have been, like, mentally abusive in a way or whatever, you know, then the mom would be like, leave her alone. Don't talk to her, because, like, she just went through therapy, months of therapy to get over your abuse, you know?
Yeah.
So I could see it being that. But, like, for the sake of the narrative, I'm going to go with they did drugs together.
Yeah. Well, the other big thing to me is Justin has been so open about his long, ongoing struggle with drugs. He's been very, very vocal about it. And I'm like, that would make all of this make a lot more sense, like how her mom reacted. So it gets a little crazier. So Mandy, who is Selena's mom, urged Justin Bieber not to call, text, email, or see her daughter. She really believes that Selena will be able to heal faster without him. These are some other quotes from the article about, like, the statement from her mom. Her addiction to Justin is what everyone is afraid is going to take the ultimate toll. Justin takes her to a dark place mentally, and she really can't let go. She was stalking Justin on social media. She became a different person around him. She was extremely jealous and possessive and felt like she had to keep up with him to keep him. He was doing drugs at this time, right?
Yeah. He was also playing all the girls like a fiddle at this time.
Yes.
Too.
That's
like,
true.
So
playing the mental games.
So feeling like she had to, like, keep up with him to keep him would also make sense when your man is kind of like half-ass giving you attention and also effing around with all these other girls, you know?
Well, this source also threw in a statement that says she would go drink and smoke, and then she got into weed and partying.
She got into weed, man.
Yeah. Well, I think her casually mentioning partying is a very open-ended thing. And I think to keep up with Justin, I think Selena not had to partake in anything, but I think she was choosing to so that she could see, like, so that she could be seen as, like, I'm fun. Look at me, I'm fun. I'm gonna, like, I'm doing drugs. I'm snorting coke right now. Like, I'm fun. I'm a party girl. You know. Selena bombarded her friends with photos of the duo from the beginning of their relationship. It was creepy, the source admitted. She wouldn't stop. She said she missed him and the pictures made her happy, but her friends thought it just made her look sick. which I feel like this might come from the constant seeing of fan edits of your relationship put together on the internet, making you like mentally unwell. So there was a lot of speculation around that rehab stay the following year. The facility that she went to did offer services for mental health, but did she really go to rehab for 90 days to cleanse herself of Instagram?
Yeah, I think that 90 days is a lot for a mental health stay. Like, anybody that I know, like, I have known people, and I know that we're, normal people who need to get back to real life because we have things that we need to afford. But I've known people personally who have went to rehab facilities for mental health because of things as extreme as like suicide, like suicidal thoughts and like that kind of thing. And they were only in there for 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like really, really extreme.
Yeah. So it's a little long to me.
So Selena came out and said that one of the main reasons that she sought out that treatment was because she was addicted to Instagram. Like she, at first it was for mental health and lupus causing panic attacks, depression. Then it's the Instagram addiction.
Oh no, is that it? Does lupus cause Instagram addiction?
It might. It really might.
Okay.
The main reason that I think they're lying is the lack of mentioning Christina Grimmie whenever it comes to her visiting rehab for depression. Because I don't think you can tell where she's at mentally without mentioning that. I don't know. I still kind of just think it's weird that they've never talked about it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a part of her documentary at all.
I think that she for sure had mental health problems. I think that was in combination with drug use. Like I think
She's
that maybe the mixture of like Justin playing her like a fiddle and Christina being murdered, like maybe the mix of those two had her in such a bad mental state that she started partaking in drug use,
But it's the constant like blaming it on your Instagram addiction that makes me just not believe any of it. Like I would believe her if they were just open and honest that it was about all that.
Yeah.
2017 was a busy year for Selena. In July of 2017, she received a kidney transplant due to issues with lupus from her close friend and roommate, Francia Raisha. There was a little bit of drama around this kidney transplant. Francia did offer to get tested to see if they were a match, but there was some controversy because the doctor that tested them called Selena and told Selena that they were a match. So Selena called Francia and was all excited and was like, we're a match.
And then what are you supposed to do? Be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I was going to think about it. Like,
yeah.
You
it's
can't.
Like if you're to not give it to her and then she dies or, like she's on a wait list for a donor, it's like that makes you look like the worst person in the world.
I do have a question. Like I'm thinking about it now that we're talking about this whole thing can you have kidney failure because of a certain type of drug use?
I was looking up side effects from lupus mixed with drugs and things. Lupus can cause a lot of low, your white blood count to be low, but so can substances. And both of those things would affect, I think, from what I was reading, would affect your kidney function.
Okay.
Kidney and liver function. That's just something to note. Like we don't know, but it's something to note. Francia was angry because she kind of wanted to know how Selena knew before her. Even though I would have, she still gave Selena the kidney, of course. I would probably sue that doctor.
Oh, yeah. Because that went, they violated, what is it?
HIPAA.
Yeah, HIPAA.
Yeah. So Selena this isn't really big news, but Selena did gift Francia a house worth more money than her own. So, you could say Francia gave that out of the goodness of her heart, which I think in the beginning she did. Selena bought the woman a house.
Yeah.
I would probably give my kidney for a multi-million-dollar home.
So would I. Yeah. I would. I would give it just for someone to pay off my current house.
You better keep that kidney. Save it for a big one. So this happened in July of 2017, but also by the end of 2017, Justin and Selena are so back.
Yes.
They're spotted together first in late October of 2017 at one of his hockey games. And here is a statement from Selena's mom after their reunion, because, her last public statements were leave her alone. She says, and think about, what we're assuming is going on with Selena whenever she says this. Selena can live her life however she wants as long as she is happy, safe, and healthy. She is 25 years old and knows what is at stake with her health. So I know she isn't like directly saying anything, but I don't think that she's like not saying that there is this risk of her relapsing with them getting back together. So then we get this video.
Huh? All right. Hey, I got Justin Bieber here at the Swami. Seeing you, bro. Have a good one. Conocí al Justin. Mira, ahí está. Salúdenlo, Chucho. Come on, G. That's Justin Bieber for you guys. He's in Hollywood. The worst part of it, too. That's really Bieber. Hey, Bieber, I fuck with you. Nah, not really, homie, but you famous, nigga. Es el Bieber, Chucho.
In November of 2017, Justin and Selena visit a convenience store in a really bad neighborhood of Hollywood.
Yes.
Where the news were that they were approached by a gang. It wasn't. Y'all.
Listen, I know where we're going with this. I know this theory.
All I'm saying is the man was just excited to see Justin Bieber in this video. And he didn't know who Selena Gomez was. That's the only reason her name wasn't said, because she's clearly walking beside of him. The headline's saying that they were approached by an M something gang member, and not the fact that Justin and Selena were at a convenience store buying drugs, is outstanding.
I mean, this video is iconic for us because this is what sent us down this whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I remember we saw it and we discussed this like a couple years ago, and we were like, what the heck?
This video really went under the radar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, only people that are chronically online know about it.
Yeah.
And
I have never met anybody other than me and you who like know about this.
Yeah, and it's to me, the headline saying that they were approached by a gang, whenever it's clearly a guy who's just like freaked out that Justin Bieber's in his like small corner of Hollywood. Like, it's not a violent video, but in the beginning you can see Justin begging him not to record. And who is running away with Justin Bieber? Literally running
None
down
other
the alley.
than Selena Gomez.
There she is.
And honest to God, like, if you are gonna deny that they were buying drugs here, can you please tell me what they were doing in this part of town by themselves?
Yeah.
What were they doing? What else were they doing?
Because you know that their security guards are probably contracted in some way to report to whoever is in charge, like their manager or whatever, if something that could harm their health is happening. That's why they were there by themselves. Like, there's just so much in this video. This story doesn't break much, but this video does get out. And obviously the people close to Selena are going to know about it. They're going to, they stay up on everything going on to keep a tight, like, grip on this image and everything that's happening. Well,
imagine them leaving and, like, just imagine, like, when you're younger and you do something and you're, like, sneaking around. Imagine them walking away in that alley. Like, they're probably mouthing to each other. Like, they're probably like, damn it, my mom's going to get so pissed.
Yeah.
My mom's going to be so mad.
Well, and she was. So this happened in November of 2017. In December of 2017, Selena and her mother unfollow each other.
Oof.
So also in December, this gets crazy. The fact that this isn't a story and never broke blows my mind. Also in December, her mother was hospitalized due to stress. And this was not a mother just worried about a daughter with her ex-boyfriend. Like,
you would not be hospitalized. Like, no. She
No.
found out her daughter was back doing drugs with her abusive ex-boyfriend.
After having a kidney transplant 6 months ago.
That's, if you do drugs on it, you're literally gonna lose that kidney and then you might die. Like, yeah, I'd be stressed too if I was her mom.
Yeah. So an insider confirmed that her mother, 41, had voluntarily sought out treatment at a hospital in LA, but dismissed a report that it was because of an argument with her daughter over Bieber. It's been a stressful time for Mandy, and she made the decision herself to go to the hospital to make sure everything was okay. I want to read you the title of this article. This was People magazine, right? So this is something that, like, Their sources and the people of their team are reporting this information. This is the title. Selena Gomez's mom didn't go to the hospital just because of Justin Bieber. It's been a stressful time, says source. And this is just them controlling this narrative.
Yeah.
Like, this is the only, like, there weren't a lot of articles about this. And I'm like, your daughter was just in a crazy neighborhood in Hollywood the previous month. Now the mom is in the hospital due to stress. She's not stressing because she's back with her ex-boyfriend.
No. Like, no. And then, yeah. I mean, this is blatantly obvious when you're given the facts.
Yes.
Like,
in February of 2018, Selena and Justin are broken up again. She immediately checks herself into a rehab in Connecticut for therapy, healthy eating, meditation, and Pilates. What does LA have? All of those things. This woman, who is a millionaire at this time, they want us to believe that she needed to go to Connecticut to detox from Justin Bieber. I get they had a crazy relationship. The love was intense. They're not good for each other. But this is so unrealistic.
it is. And it's literally 5 months after we see them in the alleyway.
Yeah.
And then it's 3 months after her mom goes to rehab.
And immediately after her and Justin broke up, there was a statement that came out that said that Selena was back with her family after, like, realizing that it wasn't right to get back with Justin Bieber. To me, the biggest red flag is it's abnormal to go straight to rehab after breaking up with your ex-boyfriend if drugs weren't y'all's issue together.
Yeah, for sure.
That, like, I'm just convinced that was their thing, that they, like, I think that's my theory, that it was like, that was their toxic trope that they just could not get over together.
Yeah. And that also can explain so much as to why it was so hard for them to leave each other alone.
Yeah.
And why that love could still be there even today is because, like, it wasn't that they themselves didn't love each other and didn't want to be together. It was the fact that they were bad for each other because they had this bad habit when they were together. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we can't stop doing this if we're together, so we can't be together, but I love you very, very much. Like, you know?
She's got a fetish for his love.
Yeah.
And it might be something else too, you know? There's other things to that. Not long after leaving this facility in Connecticut, Selena was showing some weird behavior, including weird messages to Jennifer Lopez on Instagram. The message didn't look that weird to me. It was basically her just praising her in a dramatic way, but like just praising J-Lo. Like,
nothing
whatever.
Tana Mojo wouldn't say.
Exactly. So she took a break from social media again. This is the stuff that I think it gets interesting. So soon after all of this, she held a birthday party for a friend at her house where there was no alcohol present. No big deal. No one would think anything of that, except why did the source that was at the party make a statement to this article and say alcohol was not at the party? Selena is really focusing on her health. If there's no alcohol problem, there's no drug problem, and you're talking about Selena having a party, why is the lack of substances at the party even a part of the discussion?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there is a constant, like, underlying mentioning of the denial of drugs and alcohol whenever no one is accusing.
And it's like, you know, when people lie, and like if they give too many details, that's when you know they're lying.
Yes.
And that's this.
Like, why would this friend just be like, yeah, there wasn't any alcohol there? Like, we didn't ask.
Yeah.
It's just very bizarre.
Like, I wasn't even thinking about if y'all were like drinking alcohol until you said that.
So there is a conflicting statement with another magazine article. In February of 2018, after Selena Gomez completed her 2-week rehab stint for anxiety and depression yet again, she told Page 6 that she was avoiding alcohol. Understandable, because she's focusing on her mental health. Alcohol is not good for mental health.
And
makes sense.
And alcohol, I would assume, isn't good for a kidney that you had replaced, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And we'll get into that.
Okay.
In another interview, Selena said it to Elle, as far as my personal life, someone sees me having a glass of wine, I could give two shits. I'm not trying to hide. That's my life. she's saying that she's avoiding alcohol one moment. The next, she's like, I can have one glass of wine. It's fine. It's no big deal. And like, I have people that are addicted to alcohol in my life, and that's exactly what they sound like.
Yeah.
They one day are like, yeah, I quit drinking. And they're like, I can have one glass.
Mm-hmm.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
This is a video of Hailey and Justin Bieber talking about Justin Bieber's drug problem.
Justin and I were never really in each other's lives until he chose to get sober and was trying to come off of the drugs, almost kind of himself.
I decided to stop because I felt like I was like, bro, I was like dying. My security and stuff were coming into the room at night to check my pulse. Like, people don't know how serious it got. Like, it was legit crazy scary. I was waking up in the morning and the first thing I was doing is popping pills and smoking a blunt and starting my day, you know? So it just got scary. I basically said to myself, oh my God, if you're real, you get me through this season of stopping these pills and stuff. And if you do, I'll do the rest of the work.
You'll notice that Hailey said that her and Justin didn't really like commit to their relationship until he was sober. And who was he not with anymore once Hailey and Justin really started their relationship, right?
Yeah.
Again, speculation, but a theory. Okay, so one idea I had was like, you've got like, think about like the Mac Miller and Ariana Grande situation. The biggest like fallout with them was that she couldn't handle his drug problem. And like, that's not on her. Like, people blame her for whatever.
No, it's not her fault.
But she was just like, I don't have what it takes to handle this. And that's never been anything that Selena has ever discussed, even though Justin's been really open about his drug problem. It's the like, there's like a hole in the conversation right there.
Yeah, if she was innocent, she would be using, like, she would be using how big she is of a pop star to talk about how it's difficult to be with someone who has a drug issue. Like that she would say something like, I've done it before, even if she didn't name him specifically, you know, because she talks about their relationship without saying his name, you know, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
She would definitely mention that.
She's never mentioned that.
Especially, listen, for the fact that she loves to be a victim. Okay?
Yeah.
So she would eat that up if it was one-sided and she was innocent.
And don't you think someone who is maybe occasionally like doing something, you know, in her free time, like, don't you think it's pretty common that you might go on Instagram and comment some inappropriate things on some things that you might not be, if you were 100% in your right mind, you might know not to go comment on a video of Hailey Bieber from 2017 in the year of 2023? Yeah. You might know. You might know that. In June of 2018, Hailey and Bieber are back together. They're engaged by July and married by September. And in October of 2018, Selena is in rehab. Allegedly, Justin Bieber postponed his wedding with Hailey 3 times throughout this process, some saying it was due to Selena's struggles and he was worried about her. And if you look into the Hailey Bieber stalker documentary stuff, you will learn that whenever Selena was in this rehab stay, Hailey was driving by her house to see if Justin was there while Selena was allegedly in rehab. So this was like during the same time. This time happened a little bit differently. She was hospitalized due to being despondent and emotional. I didn't know what despondent meant, but it just means in low spirits with loss of hope or courage.
But like, okay, this is the one time I can really believe that.
Oh, I agree.
Like, because, okay, think about it that, like how I said, you and this person go back and forth for years and you actually love each other and you just can't, like, get off drugs together. And that's the reason that
then he's just gone because he's married.
Well, and you break up because of that, but you love each other. It's just the drugs are the problem. And then you find out that he is not doing drugs anymore with this other girl. And it's like,
and
why?
they're like, God is the center of their relationship. And Selena's always been like so spiritual. Like, I get it.
And it's like, why couldn't we have made it work and not done drugs? Like, why couldn't, because that was our only problem and we could have been together. Like, you know?
Yeah. She also went into the hospital because once she got to the hospital, she realized that she had a low white blood cell count. This can be a side effect of lupus. It can also be a major side effect of drug and alcohol abuse with an autoimmune disorder.
It could
literally be exactly what we think, or it could be just a side effect. Anything is a side effect of lupus. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But what you'll notice that I think is just the recurring thing is it could always be lupus, or there's this underlying story that's like continuing throughout all these news like articles over the years that have came out. And this story could match up, but it's like no one's ever laid out these timelines to make it all like click in that other perspective of the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are we about to get a cease and desist?
Oh, I bet so. But these are all alleged, and this is all just speculation for fun. There are a few things that can cause low blood cell counts: drugs and alcohol, and autoimmune disorders such as lupus. The report says that she was sent spiraling after no improvement from her white blood cell count. They said that she mentally spiraled because of her low blood cell count.
That sounds more like you have low blood cell count and then you mentally spiral because you can't do the drugs that you're used to doing.
Yeah. Or she's just upset about Justin Bieber, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like
I would be upset too, girl. I was upset when he got engaged. And we never even dated.
So she was receiving treatment at East Coast Psychiatric Facility, where she was undergoing DBT, or dialectical behavior therapy, which focuses on teaching patients mindfulness, healthy communication and behavioral patterns, emotional regulation, and how to better respond to negative events. So the consistent thing is none of this is treating depression or anxiety. She's treating either low blood cells or the spiraling, the like mental, like loss of like mental control.
Mm-hmm.
So she finally addressed the scenario with Justin and Hailey and their relationship when she released the song Lose You to Love Me, a song clearly referring to the situation with her past love, Justin Bieber. Learning to love yourself can also be a part of healing with a journey with addiction.
And someone to replace us like it was easy.
The next public intoxication, the 2019 AMAs.
Amazing artist and person and with a big heart.
Love you.
Thank you. Yeah.
She's on, like, she's messed up in those videos. So she's performing that night, which was absolutely horrific. Like, and, you know, we think about the fact that she didn't want to be a pop star. She didn't care about music. It wasn't her thing. It's so obvious how little she cares during this performance that she didn't even practice.
I put you first and you adored it. Set fire to my forest.
People say, like, okay, like, she sounded bad, like, whatever. She was nervous because of Justin Bieber, because of whatever is happening. Well, let's talk about it. Okay, her voice is one thing, but Selena Gomez is, like, a good dancer if you watch.
She said,
She's not even doing any, like, she's drunk, at least.
Yeah.
At least in this
video. This is giving, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is giving me on the pinball machine when I was really drunk thinking I was serving a look.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, when you get really drunk and you think that you're, like, eating, you know, and I think that in her head she thought.
Yeah. Well,
like, I think she did.
Here comes the pattern. Her team released a statement after the performance. Selena did have a panic attack before her performance, but she ultimately decided to push through and perform anyway. She had rehearsed and was excited to get back on stage, and she got nervous right before because it's been a while.
Wasn't this also the night that, didn't Taylor Swift perform?
She did her big award. Like, she had like a medley.
And there's the speculation that
she was supposed to be a part of it.
But that she was obviously obliterated.
Taylor was like, you're not coming on stage with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, sure, it's one thing to be, okay, I got nervous before, I had a little panic attack. But, like, that's not a side effect of a panic attack.
No.
Nerves can mess up your voice, sure, but that's just not. And she was messed up from the time she walked in the carpet.
Like, you can't tell me, I mean, that a panic attack makes you look like that on a red carpet.
No.
You don't. You're not falling all over.
It's just another example of them using mental health as an excuse. So, like, my issue with all of it comes into play when it's like, okay, she's obviously on something and you're this big mental health advocate. Quit using it whenever it's convenient for you to keep your narrative going in the direction that you want it to go. here is where we get something interesting. In April of 2022, we're going to jump ahead a little bit because obviously, like, things kind of slowed down with all this stuff. Selena Gomez admitted to going to a Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in Forbes of April of 2022. The title of the article is Hollywood in Mind, What's Ahead for Selena Gomez's New Mental Fitness Company. So here's the quote that Selena said in this article. Honestly, I believe that's why a lot of people go to AA or NA meetings, like myself. I do, because I find it inspiring and moving. I find it empowering when I can speak or just hear others tell their story. It's not a scary place. This swept under the rug. She never said when she went to rehab or was in these meetings, but it just tells you that one of those times where we're speculating that it's not just for rehab of anxiety and depression, she obviously went for something.
Yeah. It's like there's been so many things, but nobody's ever just put it all together.
Yeah,
You know, like
it's all right there. She admitted it in this. And then it's like she's never spoken about it other than in this one instance. And it's almost like, I don't know if she wasn't supposed to, but it's out, so it's there.
Mm-hmm.
She has also publicly addressed having an issue with speculators who think her lupus treatments have been due to drug abuse. Is so just, I don't even know what the word, hypocritical.
manipulative.
Yeah.
Like to just try and like to know that you're using lupus as a crutch and people are calling you out for that, and then to say you don't get it, like it's literally lupus and you're like disgusting for like you know,
Yeah.
like that's what she's gaslighting everybody who's
and then
trying
she
to
casually
call
just
it out.
drops it in 2022. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I went to NA and AA meetings. It's like,
Yeah.
for what? We never knew you had a substance abuse issue.
I thought it was lupus.
Yeah. There's just this ongoing thing with Selena. Like, you're not allowed to publicly critique her. Anything she says, does, wears, looks like. You're not allowed to critique her at all because she has this crazy autoimmune disease that, like, could be anything could be a side effect. So, like, anything she does that's perceived negatively is like, it's just her. She has a disease.
Mhm.
Like, don't be mean.
It's literally everything. I mean, like if she looks like she got freaking lip filler, lupus can swell your lips up.
Yeah.
Lupus, like, you know, it's ridiculous at this point.
In May of 2023, Francia, who gave Selena the kidney, had a falling out. And the fallout between Francia and Selena happened allegedly after Selena wouldn't quit drinking. So Francia calls out Selena for her drinking problem. While this didn't happen publicly, Francia's father addressed it head on in an interview. And he said that he told the press that Francia had personally addressed Selena's drinking after having donated a kidney to her, which, like, if your daughter gave away one of her kidneys to someone who's publicly abusing drugs and alcohol, I would be upset too.
Yeah.
Selena also mentioned in an interview that Taylor Swift is her only friend in the industry, not mentioning Francia, almost as if their falling out had, like, officially happened behind closed doors. And later on, around the same time, Selena referred to Francia as the girl who gave me a kidney rather than her friend. And I don't think it's 100% fair to give someone an organ with strings attached. You know, like, you give somebody the gift, you give them the gift.
I do think also too, like, I think that Selena should appreciate her second chance, you know, because, like, she could have died if she didn't get the kidney. So I'm not saying or, like, justifying Selena still drinking and stuff when she has lupus and had to have a whole other kidney.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was Francia, like we said, if I was given a multi-million-dollar house and gave my kidney to someone, I think I would just mind my business at that point.
Yeah,
like,
but
I would feel like I got what I deserved.
Yeah, but I think that's where it shows that Francia cares about her, because if the addiction does run deeper than surface level, and, like, you know, like, that a person isn't taking care of themselves, anyone in their family or close friends would be upset with them for their actions, right?
True. I'm thinking of it in a different way. Like, if I gave Selena my kidney and we didn't have a relationship, that's how I would have felt. But remembering that they were, like, really good friends, it does make sense. I would be annoyed.
There's also the part of it where, like, not that Francia donated the kidney to get a house from Selena, but maybe Selena was like, I'm going to buy a house for you. Not long after the kidney transplant, you know, Francia sees Selena in North Hollywood with Justin Bieber buying drugs. I'm sure that bothered her because it hadn't even been a year since the transplant. It hadn't even been 6 months.
Yeah.
And you see her doing this, and she's relapsing. She's back in rehab a few months later. Like, but Francia might have really needed the financial assistance to get a home, and like that was also a motivator in the kidney thing. So maybe she was waiting until this house thing went through for her to be able to speak her mind and be honest with Selena. You know what I mean? Because like, you don't want to do it to, and then Selena's like, well, screw you. And then like Francia literally walks away with nothing, and her kidneys being wasted.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect to it too. Back to Selena at the Golden Globes in 2025. Watch this video and tell me what you think.
What are you manifesting for 2025? What are we feeling about next year?
I think maintaining where I'm at and being so joyful about the choices I make, and though not all of them are perfect, I'm just so happy
pretty close.
To be here.
You're good.
I'm so happy to be here.
Who's the first person you called when you found out you were nominated?
Oh, it was my Nana and Papa.
Oh, that's awesome.
But literally, my heart is racing just purely because it's such an honor. This is a big year for me. I don't know if I'll ever have this moment again.
Yes, we will.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you here again next year.
That's what we pulled up. Look at everybody that's here tonight.
Can we just talk about that?
I mean,
Wow. Hey,
proud.
see,
I am a proud girl.
Can I tell you something? As a former child actor, this is awesome.
Thank you so much.
This is
what
awesome.
do you feel like when you...
I'm unbelievably proud.
Yes.
I know all of these girls, and they have just been wonderful, and I'm so happy and proud of all of them.
I'm proud, too, because those transitions are tough. And to be able to do that and recognize...
So a comment on this video says, a quick Google search, does lupus affect your voice? Having lupus can affect the tone and quality of your voice, potentially causing hoarseness, vocal fatigue, or weak voice due to inflammation. To me, this doesn't sound like vocal fatigue or hoarseness or like a weak voice. This is like, it's high pitched. Slowed down, high pitched, like on, because typically even when she's slowed down, she's kind of talking down here like this, you know what I mean? And like, I could even see that could be like vocal fatigue or something when it's like in your lower register. But this is not that. When you bring your voice up here, it takes more, it's not like you're fatigued at that point,
it's kind of
you're on a drug.
Same, whatever I think she's on something in that video, and it's kind of giving the same like side effect. Do you remember that Hayden Panettiere interview that came out about like they're talking the same?
I mean, talk about nature versus nurture. I mean, this little girl literally came out, not just her face like resembling mine.
Yeah, like the exact same. And maybe she's just drunk, but like it's the feeling like her mouth is trying to catch up with her brain speed. Like that's not a side effect of lupus.
No. And it's like the high pitched of it all. It's giving like when I've been around people on like pills or something, and it's like that's the way that they talk.
I know.
Yeah.
Selena has said that she is in the remission stage of lupus, meaning that it hasn't affected her in many years. And like in my mind of me, she had like a flare up or whatever. The people in my life that have had lupus have never reached a point of remission. Maybe they don't have the money to get the medical, needs. Maybe that's a big part of it. But this is a statement from a Reddit user. They said, I have lupus and the remission stage doesn't exist. It's a chronic condition with no cure, and the only things available are treatments to temporarily manage. Plus, her symptoms are nothing like lupus, and she claims to have so many of them, yet none ever appeared. On her home cooking show, she claims she's not able to open items because her hands lock up, yet she appears fully functioning everywhere else that I've seen her. I just thought that was interesting because it was someone who's claiming to have lupus, and I will say, like, the way that she lives with lupus is it's not anything I've ever witnessed with people that have it.
Yeah.
But also, we don't know every part of her struggle.
We don't see as much realness, from her. And also, we don't actually know people who are billionaire status who
Yeah.
can afford to do anything. So that's where it can get a little fuzzy of like just being unsure of what can be done.
Yeah.
You know? But I think she's on something. I
do
mean,
too. I think she's always had a drug abuse issue, and like that's okay. But I also think it's important to be honest about it, especially when you built so much of your brand on mental health. Like, it comes off very like inauthentic, and like to have built a beauty brand that's created a billionaire from it, and to not be honest about like what you are claiming to stand for, it is disingenuous. All of this stuff is alleged, and like all that we're doing here is like really just showing the same timeline of events that everybody else has seen of Selena Gomez, but like discussing them with a different perspective.
And putting it all together to where it could really click if you want to believe these alleged things.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's where we're at. The 2025 Golden Globes is about the last update that we've had.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm hoping that she can resolve her problems at some point.
Yeah. Or I would just be interested if there's this moment where she just comes clean about everything and is just honest.
I find it a little bit, I don't know what the word is, like weird that it seems that Justin Bieber is back doing drugs at the same timeline in life when Selena's like engaged, but also like it's kind of seems like she's on something. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like if the two can correlate in any kind of
Well, also look
world.
look at what Selena's reaction was whenever Justin got married. And now we see Selena on the same trajectory to be married to Benny Blanco, and Justin Bieber is having a moment. There's something to that, and that's why I think they have an addiction to each other. I think they probably like constantly stalk each other online, and like they're both so public, so you can like, if I had that much access to like my exes that I've had like really toxic relationships with, I can't even imagine like what, how I would feel about things or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I get it, but I think that there's more involved in them, but I don't think Justin Bieber is sober either.
No. And that's why I think that they're not done for good. Like our obnoxious selves say.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to their story.
There will be one day.
Yeah, that we're going to see come to fruition at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, hoping that people with drug problems can get the help they need and recognize the help that they need and actually, get better. So hoping that for her, if that is
and don't
what's
send her
happening.
any hate.
No.
We're just here. This is just always something that I've thought about her PR. Like, I've always kind of believed this narrative that we just told, because like that was just always the perspective I had, and it's always just honestly blown my mind the way that I think that these stories can be twisted by people that are really good at their job. And the older I get, the more I realize that you just can't believe everything that you read about these celebrities.
Yes.
And like, they look like they're perfect in some ways, or like they're this perfect mental health advocate, but in reality, like there's so much more going on. And like
once you see it, you can start to kind of point it out in other scenarios and stuff. Like you know that PR teams are working like crazy, and like the kind of methods that they will use, and you can start to like see it and unravel things. And like ever since that we saw that video, I swear that seals the deal for me. The video of them in that alley, like
they get back together and they're down in an alley. Like
there's no other explanation. You cannot convince me it's anything else.
No, I agree.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And like all this is just speculation. Like we're just taking fan theories from Reddit.
We're just goofing and gaffing.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. We have more deep dives and stuff coming, and we'll kind of continue with a similar saga. We have a spin-off topic from this because we had so much research from this to do, and we are the PR team's worst nightmare.
Yeah. We're going to take them down.
No, don't say that.
That's just, we're not.
We're going to build them up.
Yeah. You're doing great, sweetie.
But yeah, we upload new episodes every Monday.
And remember, if you want to see Selena Gomez hop into a tub of cheese that Benny Blanco filled for her, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we'll see you next Monday.
TTYL.
Bye.
Yeah.